Hello, folks. Back with more ancient cosmography. I'm reading this book, Hamlet's Mill, essay investigating the origins of human knowledge and its transmission through myth. So, basically the fact that myths, ancient, the traditional myths were science, that was how science was transmitted. And the only reason we just see it as primitive imagination is because we've lost the ability to understand it. But these people, this is from, I think this is published in like 1969 or something. And by a German woman and an Italian man, I believe. Two academics. And, pretty well-respected academics, I think. So it's been a very influential book over the last 50 years or more, I guess more. I think Graham Hancock actually mentioned this book in a recent interview with Russell Brand. So, as illustrating how the precession of the equinoxes was understood by prehistoric peoples. But anyway, so I'm reading this book and I'm realizing that the world tree of the Finnish people was pretty similar and in some ways identical to that of the Norse. So that makes sense, of course. For one thing, Finland is right next to Scandinavia, but also we pretty much know that all the different cosmological world trees have a lot in common and arguably have more in common with each other than they have not in common. And so, in the Norse traditions, the world tree is called Yggdrasil or something. And it's referred to as an ash, I believe. An ash tree. And it's basically the tree that connects everything in the cosmos together. I think in Judaism, it was called the tree of life. And in, it's a pretty universal concept. So this is from, Prose Edda of Snorri Sturluson, Icelandic bard. And then Gangleri asked, "Where is the chief place or sanctuary of the gods?" High One replied, "It is by the ash Yggdrasil." I'm just calling it Yggdrasil because I don't know how you pronounce that. There every day the gods have to hold a court. Then Gangleri asked, "In what way is that place famous?" Then just as High said, "These gods are really high. The ash is the best and greatest of all trees. Its branches spread out over the whole world and reach up to heaven." Sorry, my nails are kind of gnarly, gross right now, but don't pay attention. The ash is the best and greatest of all trees. Its branches spread out over the whole world and reach up over heaven. The tree is held in position by 3 roots. Just a second. Gotta blow my nose. I don't know. I think I know why. Because I'm allergic to these Maybe I haven't read this book in too long, so I'm allergic to the dust in it. I don't know. Anyway, so the tree is held in position by 3 roots that awkward. Spread far out. One is among the Aesir, the second among the Frost Ogres, where once was Ginnungagap, and the third extends over Niflheim, and under that root is the well Havergelmir. But okay, so one is among the Aesir. Second is among. So I think the Aesir is Asia, or seemingly, at least Snorri seems to describe Aesir as being Asia. The second among the Frost Ogres. So I'm not sure exactly what that means. And the third extends over Niflheim. So Niflheim is part of hell. It's the lowest of the 9 levels of hell. Which is basically America, like the Western Hemisphere. So it would be like South America, maybe like Patagonia, and even Western Antarctica, maybe. So one root is in Asia, one root is in South America, and one root, I think the other one is probably in the sky somewhere. The frost giants might refer to the stars. It might refer to the center of the Milky Way. I'm not exactly sure. Under that, but Neohog gnaws at the root from below. Under the root that turns in the direction of the Frost Ogres lies the spring of Mimir, in which is hidden wisdom and understanding. Mimir is the name of the owner of the spring. He is so the third root of the ash tree is in the sky, and under that root is the very sacred spring called the spring of Urd. So it already says 3. So it says one is in Niflheim, one is among the Aesir, and one is with the Frost Ogres. So I'm thinking it says here the third root is in the sky, so that must be one of those 3. I'm thinking that's the Frost Ogre one, but maybe it's the Aesir one. Under that root is the very sacred spring called the Spring of Ord. There the gods hold their court of justice. The Aesir ride up to that place every day over the bridge Bifrost, which is also known as the Bridge of the Aesir. The names of the horses of the gods are as follows, yada yada. It probably refers to like planets and stars and whatnot. And let's see. The ash Yggdrasil endures more pain than men perceive. The heart devours it from above, and the sides of it decay. Neohog is gnawing from below. There are more serpents under the ash Yggdrasil than fools imagine. Going in Moin, I think they will destroy forever that ash tree's branches. So I think this tree, this symbolic tree, is forever being created and destroyed because it has to be recreated when the heavens move, due to the precession of the equinox, it gets basically cut down and a new tree is established. Okay, but anyway, the main point I'm focusing on here is just the fact that it has one root among the Aesir and one root in Niflheim. Which is the lowest, level of the ninth level of hell, the lowest level. And let's see. So basically, I'm reading Hamlet's Mill, and it's talking about the Kalevala, which is this epic poem of the Finnish, which describes a lot of this cosmology in symbolic terms. Okay, so this is what it sounds like in Finnish. It's like a real endless poem saga. So, like thousands of Finnish peasants knew this by heart, and contains a lot of the same science, the same knowledge as a lot of other ancient traditions. So here's that, a branch of that poem. So in this, the world tree is called the Sampo, which can maybe mean a pole, but might also mean a mill. Because it's also, this world tree concept morphs into different shapes. Sometimes it's a mill, sometimes it's something to stir milk with, like in the Hindu system. But it's always basically some sort of pole-like thing. So this is this poem. And on one side was a corn mill, on another side a salt mill, and upon a third a coin mill. That could relate to the three roots. And, that maybe the corn mill is, well, anyway, here, now rejoiced the crone of Poja, and conveyed the bulky Sampo to the rocky hills of Poja, and within the mount of copper, and behind 9 locks secured it. So 9 locks, that's like the 9 levels of hell. There it struck its roots around it, fathoms 9 in depth that measured. So it's in Niflheim, the same as in Snorri. 1 in Mother Earth deep rooted. In the strand the next was planted. In the nearest mount the third one. So it's like everywhere you go, the way you do like ancient, sorry, just a second. The way you do ancient cosmography is you create, like, you replicate this system, but you orientate it by the whatever's the nearest mountain to you is the de facto top of the world, and then whatever's the antipode, like the exact opposite side of the planet, would be the other root. And then the other root, I think, is in the sky, but also might symbolically connect to the sea. There it struck its roots around it, fathoms 9 in depth that measured, 1 in Mother Earth deep rooted in the strand, the next was planted, in the nearest mount the third one. So I think this is a pretty universal ancient system. Um, and I think it relates to, it might relate to in the ancient Egyptian Book of Two Ways, where on the part that is in Egypt and the Middle East and whatnot, let's see, which one is it? I think it's this one. Make a clean way for me. Mine is traveling. I have come here from this pure land, O Hapi. So Hapi means the Nile. I found a plant there which was green. It was small, but it grew. So I think this refers to the root of the world tree that is where it says in the nearest mount. So the nearest mount for them would be in Egypt. And the pyramids and ziggurats represented this type of thing. Yeah, the one who is in the high walls, I die in its vicinity. So this is referring to Egypt, and this is written as if, from the perspective of the dead person whose coffin this was written in and this map was painted in. So it's saying, I die in Egypt, and that's where this green plant was planted. It was small, but it grew. I recreated it when I breathed. It is I whom he places in his vicinity. So, yeah, I'm pretty sure that, I could be wrong, but I think that's the same concept of one of the roots of Yggdrasil or of the Sampo being in the nearest mount, and then one of the others being in the deepest antipode, and the other being, I guess, in the sky. Anyway, I think my phone's about to cut me off, but I'll see if I can see anything more about this.